And hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to the Academic Foxhole, and I am Trooper SJP, and this is Lapland Lindy over here. I'm very excited about it. Wait. Oh no, we're reversed. That's terrible. We're actually different people.
So am I Trooper? Hi,
Yeah,
I'm
you
Trooper
are.
SJP.
You are.
Welcome to the Academic Foxhole. This is my channel.
It is. Oh.
And Lindy has decided to do a new look in which she is bald. Yep. And actually went out into the sunlight.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Uh,
and put on a mustache, and I, Trooper, decided to shave my mustache and beard and
absolutely
put on a wig.
Yep. That's exactly what happened.
You know I'm Trooper because I'm repping a shirt of like my hometown.
Yep.
So there's no way I'm not Trooper SJP.
Here, I'm gonna have to do this the terrible way and reshare the screen. It's fine. It's fine.
I'm Trooper SJP. This
no
is
longer.
my channel.
Nope.
What?
No. It's not even yours anymore. You don't even get to have it. Share. Are we? Yes, we're back in somewhat normal. I mean, somewhat. Here, let me do that. I feel like you'll look better that way. Look there. Boop.
But I was Trooper SJP.
You were, but you're not anymore.
It was a channel takeover. I was like,
Wahahaha. So I will just let you all know that I can turn down the parallels volume. I've set up audio. Very exciting. Although there are new things to do, still have to put in my new mic. Don't even worry about it. Hey everyone. Hi. I hope you're all.
See, Valtiel believed me.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, I thought I was you for a second because I also do love to Lindy.
I know.
So, you know. Look, today, today's a short stream because of a number of things. One,
mostly my fault.
That is not what I was going to say. I was going to say that, you know, I was working on figuring out some exciting audio things, which I did do.
You were doing that too.
Yeah, and I did that, and I'm gonna redo it all because I've got to switch my mics. Anyway, but in the process, Lindy was single-handedly picking up a what do you call it? A hot water.
Tankless hot water heater.
Yeah. A full tank, like
an electric tankless hot water heater.
A 1940s big metal steel water tank by herself with her bare hands.
Yeah, that's me.
And it was also hot at the time, so she was just like.
Yep, that's what happened. It's not that all the electronics and my house is falling apart around me. No, that's not it.
No, maybe. Let's see, and what else? So I've been doing a lot of testing on my virtual machine. I think I've got it working better, but I did also find out, interestingly enough, that it works way well with Windows 11. So when I'm running Windows 11 on the virtual machine, it's like fast and cool. But when I'm running the old Mac OS, which I need to do for Twice Reborn, because Twice Reborn is a 32-bit game, it's a little laggy still, but it's better than it was before. So I'm going to note that, which I feel like is good. I feel like that's a good thing. What else? What else do I want to share? Hawkeye asked how the beginning of the semester is going, and it is going well, but tomorrow is my long day. Tomorrow I'm teaching in a prison, and I forgot to tell Lindy that I have to drive there, and so I have to pick up a zip car at 11 in the morning, and then to get there at noon so I can take my rapid test and be there early enough so that I am able to do all the stuff, and then I teach from 1 to 3:40, and then I've got to rush back for a faculty meeting for all the people who are working at the prison from 4:30 to 6. So I'll be in the process of teaching between 11 in the morning and 6 o'clock, and then I'm getting the call, the pre-show call, at 6:30. So I've got a half hour to get into my costume. for the RPG we're doing tomorrow, Lindy and I, because tomorrow we're doing Showdown! Lindy?
Yeah, we are. I'm gonna kill you.
I'm gonna kill you.
No, I don't think so.
How messed up are you gonna look tomorrow?
How messed up am I gonna look? I'm gonna look cool.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're doing
I'm gonna try.
we're doing post-apocalyptic. It's gonna be a post-apocalyptic showdown, and I'm really excited for it. It's an indie game for 2 players where 2 people meet and only one of them will make it out of this alive because one's gonna kill the other. It's gonna be me killing Lindy.
Although based on the history of me surviving 2-player games on your channel, it's not great.
You know, that's just what it is. It's gonna be a little bit of murder. And let me see. Is there anything else that was logistical that I had to think about? No, I don't think so. So we are playing Twice Reborn, a vampire visual novel, and also I have a new command for it. I have a new command, and it is what is. Oop, that's not how you spell is. Is this? Aha! This is a visual novel by First Step Cinematics, and in it, and we have the creator here actually with us, VTuber Xanthorus, who is one of the creators. So by the way, if you have any questions to ask VTuber Xanthorus, you certainly may do so. If I have one, I might ask as well. Do I stream on Saturday? Yes, indeed I do. So we'll be streaming at noon on Saturday, The Outer Worlds. Our Foxhole Friday RPG will be Showdown, and then this Sunday is the premiere of Season 4 of The Witcher Roads Home at 8 p.m. We're at Praxagoras Symphoria, but that's not the point. The point right now is that Lindy and I are going to be playing some Twice Reborn. Krellin has a question for the creator. Krellin, ask the question. Do it! And while you're doing that, I'm going to just load up our game. Because why wouldn't I do that?
Yes.
Also,
boom. Just like that.
Oh man, it just disappeared. Hold on. I've got to pick it up again. I want... I know.
No, I just saw Krellin's question.
Is Mark canonically a dumbass? Here we go. This is what we're looking for. Boom. Okay. Ta-da. He's smart. He just has a little wisdom. That's all. My beta readers said I had to make it really apparent that they're vampires. Really? So it's the beta readers who are the problems? I see. So Mark is suffering because of the beta readers. I get it. I just feel like...
we got that they were vampires. Mark was a little slow on the uptake.
I'm worried about your beta readers. Also, hello, Angelic Dirt.
Too impulsive. Interesting. See? We did say he's kind of impulsive.
It's true. Anageek says, by the way, Trooper, I have news about the TTRP show you're on. Oh, really? Once we premiere what episodes we have recorded, we're going to start live streaming our sessions on YouTube. Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, fun.
That's awesome. Because he was too... he is sort of impulsive, Mark. But you know what, though? Again, high int, low wisdom. That's it. This is where we left off.
Yes.
Later, he realized the truth behind those words, and he wondered what kind of life he lived. But, yeah, I imagine he'll grow as a character. VTuber...
Unless he dies.
Because apparently you can die all sorts of times, and we just missed it. So I'm surprised by that. I have a half of Lindy's cover. Oh! Thank you, Anageek. That is easily fixed. Let me just...
The game was trying to envelop me. It was trying to turn me into a vampire, too.
Well, I mean, I understand the desire for vampiric-ness. Let me ask a question. 2 questions. One is my question, and one is Lindy's question. VTuber just said, I'm surprised too, half the players die at least once by now. Okay, so I just want to know how many times people die at this point in time. Like, how many death moments have there been? Because, our Mark doesn't have the highest wisdom, but he's not dead yet.
He's just undead. He's just
undead. He's just undead. I just feel like there are a lot of options. So let me ask you, this is the question. VTuber, I know that somebody said, you have 10 deaths total? We
Wow.
have found 0 of these deaths so far, and I feel pretty proud of myself for that. I feel like that was pretty
Mm-hmm.
good. Um, so I know that I was told that the main route is about 3 hours, which it's us, so it'll take a little bit longer.
It will take usually double the time.
Oh,
But
yeah.
we're
So
past double.
yeah. So what how long do you think we have on this route? Do you think? I don't know, but I don't even know what route we're on. By the way, Lindy, do you want to read?
Oh yeah.
Or
I
do
mean,
you...
I can. You started reading, so I thought you were gonna read,
Oh,
but
all right. Well,
I can.
it's up to you.
Let me finish chewing my boba.
Okay, well, I'll read this line then.
Okay.
Outside, the stone mansion had lines of neat pine trees. Oh, by the way, sorry, before I interrupt myself, uh, I don't know, y'all messed up last week. Oh,
What did we do?
yeah.
We messed up.
What did we do last week? What did we do to mess up? VTuber, you have to tell us, Anthras. What did we do?
we didn't die.
We didn't
I mean, we
die.
didn't mess up that bad.
Yeah, I feel like we did such a great job of not dying. Uh, that's so interesting. Also, just so you know, chat, I have separated Lindy's audio from the game audio. So if you want Lindy louder than the game or vice versa, just tell me, because I have them on separate audio channels at this moment. Wah.
I can read now too, because I finished chewing my boba.
Oh, okay.
So.
Okay, wait. VTuber says you should have been consistent about the professor. So I'm not sure which route we're supposed to be in. Chat was right last time. Oh, interesting.
Oh.
Ooh. Well, but I'm just saying that things are complicated.
They're so complicated,
right?
know?
Like, that's all. They're complicated. We like our professor, but he kind of scares us a little bit, I think.
Yeah, it's intimidating.
Yes. So please go ahead.
Outside, the stone mansion had lines of neat pine trees and rock pillar fences. There were cattle and goats, a few flowering trees, neatly pruned bushes, and a few humans tending the property. Oh, look at those humans in the scenic pastures.
Seems nice.
Yeah. There were other buildings, probably guest houses, nearby the main mansion. The mansion itself was enormous. The wide structure was big enough to hold 3 wings.
Also, we just got a new subscription from Kalanir. Thank you for that subscription, Kalanir. And you may not know this, but there is a thing that we do when we have subscribers. Also, I'm noting that we have a little bit of frame rates dropping, so just let me know how you're feeling over there. It doesn't look like it's the worst, but we'll see. So, the name game. Come on, everybody. I say now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The first letter of the name, I treat it like it wasn't there. And then a B or an F, more an M will appear. And then I say Bo at a B, then I say the name, then banana, fanta, and fo. Then I say the name again with an F, very plain, then a fee, fi, and a mo. Then I say the name again with an M this time, and there isn't any name that I can't rhyme. Kalanir, Bobalonir, banana, fana, fofalonir, fee, fi, momalonir. Kalanir, the name game. Thank you for that sub. Kalanir, how are you? Yeah, I'm doing live. It's good to. Thank you for that sub. Also, it's September. Woo!
Woo! It is September.
It is. I think you get sub sandwiches in September.
Ooh.
I think so.
I wouldn't know.
you wouldn't.
I can't eat sub sandwiches.
You can't if the bread's gluten free, right?
That is, but you know how hard that is to find.
I suppose you're right.
Yeah.
So please, after you. Also, I just feel like maybe we'll survive it.
You need a next slide.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Fine. Its white exterior was capped with a terracotta roof and anchored by large, heavy, dark bronze doors that were molded with angels blowing trumpets. The detailed work was nothing that Mark had ever seen before. They had a master's touch. Well, you could perfect your craft when you're a vampire. That's what I'm betting.
Oh, sorry, I pressed the wrong button. Pardon me about that one.
Oh my goodness, that's our conversation history.
I know, and I didn't even want that. Here, let me go back.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry about that. Press the wrong button.
It happens. Tall windows were framed by Venetian blinds, and on both the first and second stories there was a large wraparound balcony.
Ooh, that sounds nice.
The third story had no balcony. When the Society of the Arts walked to the entryway, a butler opened the main doors, greeted them, taking their coats.
Ooh.
Oh,
Fancy.
swanky. Look at those sparkles. That's how you know it's fancy.
So fancy. Oh.
Oh. Wiping his shoes off at the doormat, Mark walked inside the impeccable marble entryway. Mark gasped. Luxury filled the stone mansion.
I feel like Mark should invest in tucking in his shirt or
Nice pair of slacks,
a nice
or like
pair of
a
slacks,
suit or something.
a suit jacket. You know, he could even leave the shirt untacked if he had a
Well,
shirt.
you know, he's a new vampire, so he doesn't have all the money of like old vampires yet. You know what I'm
fair.
saying?
It's fair.
His mentor should buy one for him though.
Totally. And maybe not threaten to murder him. I don't.
Yeah. His eyes were drawn upwards. The dome entryway had a mural of the sun and clouds were painted above. At their feet, set in polished marble, rested the Society of the Arts theater mask seal.
Oh, nice, nice. Hey, art ventru.
Mark carefully read the words. Act your part well, there are secret lies.
They aren't ventru, it's true. They're sort of what? Toreador? I don't.
This phrase was very true for the Society. They were always playing a role. Mickelson as a professor, Miss Violet as an art curator, Charlie as a chill musician.
I have a question. It's philosophical.
Mm-hmm.
Is Mickelson playing a role as a professor? Because he is, after all, working as a professor. Presumably he has tenure, and he does teach classes, and he does presumably do grading, unless Mark...
Look, I think they're treating these roles like super undercover positions. Like, when you're an undercover cop at a coffee shop, you're still working at a coffee shop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Instead of a cop, though, you're a vampire.
Oh, I see. Got it. Okay, I was
like all these little mortal jobs.
But what if they love those jobs, though?
Then that's good for them. The act of Belmonte, leaving his self-isolation to go into the city, was in some ways like an eccentric prince returning from mingling with the commoners. Oh, that's right, he got scooped up by what's-his-face.
He did.
But then again, although Belmonte was a president, he never acted like he was above anyone else. If anything, Mark noticed that he saw himself as a true artist, and his expeditions into the city were what gave his work life.
Ooh. Well, that seems nice, right?
Mm-hmm,
yes, cops are vampires, and that they are blood-sucking parasites we'd do better off without. Also, I feel like they've got sharp teeth, you know?
But they're not immortal, and yeah.
That's true.
He'd seen his colorful paintings of Denver and how he saw other cities in the world. Belmonte would break away from his inspiration and return to center himself here, in this luxurious paradise.
Huh. He centers himself in a luxurious paradise. He doesn't go camping or anything.
No, I think he goes camping to get the paintings and things, and he comes back and he's like, oh yes, marble floors, my favorite.
You know what, though? It'd be hilarious, because it's the opposite. Like, many people are like, oh,
yes.
I live in all this luxury, I must go off into the woods.
Nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like, yes. Gold gilding.
Gold Belmonte.
Staying away from his artistic subjects was what made his work unique. He captured their flavor and emotion. Belmonte was truly an introvert by nature.
Oh.
Yes, if I surround myself by inorganic matter and luxury items, going out into nature is truly refreshing, and I can capture its true essence. Because you're not bored by it. It's very exciting.
I feel like he's from the Renaissance, right?
I feel like that's the case. He's got that hat.
Yeah, he's got the hat. I feel like he's super Renaissance. And I feel like he's probably Venetian or something, you know? He's like from Florence or Venice, and he probably hung out with the de Medicis, and
Something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably a lot of money.
From
Or
where they
he
stood.
or he
Oh.
didn't, and he's a poser. Like he's from the Renaissance, but he never had money.
Oh, but no one can call him out on it because
Yeah,
he
yeah.
has money now, and also everyone else from the Renaissance is dead.
Yeah, yeah. He's like,
Yes.
oh yeah, I knew all those people back in the Renaissance. I was really good friends with all of them. Yeah, Michelangelo, like they hung out with me all the time. I was like their best friend, and and was like, oh okay, because they don't know. But you thought he was a Spaniard? Could be. It's
He
unclear.
could be, but people traveled back then, especially if they were artists and stuff. Like Van Gogh did not
Boccherini.
live in France all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boccherini is like considered one of the greatest Spanish composers, but he's actually Italian. He just moved to Spain. Hey, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
From where they stood, Mark noticed that there was an atrium in part of the building. The butler motioned them to follow.
He's a Spaniard. Hmm? Oh wow. Yes.
Oh, that is swanky. He led them past a large dining room with a table that could seat 30 or more guests.
Hmm. Valtio says, I saw a post online about how there are still the Medicis around. I never really thought about it before that. I mean, it's like there are a lot of very like these people are still around. You know what I mean?
The Medici family was big. They had like a big thing. Yeah.
Yeah, they also I think had a lot of effect. Like there's just there's a lot of
Yeah.
them. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Red upholstered high back seats lined the dark wood table. An old red and white vase sat on a small table in the corner of the room.
Hmm.
A large classic style painting hung on the right wall of the room, and the windows on the left side of the room remained with their curtains opened.
Hmm.
Mark could only take a glimpse of the painting. It was of a man dressed in scarlet Renaissance style clothes with a large white feathered black floppy hat. He sat upright with his two white dogs sat beneath him.
Hmm. I wonder who this. Oh, it was Belmont.
Yes, yes. One of the dogs rested on his haunches while the other lay beside his master's feet. Mark recognized the man. It was President Belmonte.
Oh, hey.
Sitting on a footed couch was the president himself. He sat with his knees spread apart. Well, manspreading. An elbow resting on one of his knees. Mark was beginning to get used to being a vampire.
What do you think the? Okay, I want to know what
Was
that's
he
about.
like, oh, luxury? I can get used to
Maybe
Is
that's
that
what he
he's
means.
going?
Maybe that's what it is.
It's like, man, seeing this guy manspreading in his house makes me get used to feeling like a vampire.
I was just thinking, do you think vampires are rich because of compounding interest?
Oh, I mean, they have all sorts of time to make investments, and also just rob the people they eat. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes. This is fair. This is fair. Never understood the power of compound interest.
He could tell the difference between the president's slower heart rate and that of a human's. Leaning over, that's what he means, I guess.
Oh, I see.
Leaning over, Belmonte touched his fist beneath his chin, and Mark noticed that he also wore the society's ring on his pinky.
They all do, right?
They'll wear it, but I don't know if they wear it on their pinky.
Oh. I don't know. It's supposed to be on another beat slide. Don't ask me.
Oh, yeah, they also don't have to pay for food. Like, food is a big
Oh.
expense, depending on your era as well, especially.
That's true. It's like, can you imagine? They probably don't have to pay for heating. Like, there's probably a lot of things they don't actually have to
Yeah, their
pay
utility
for, right?
bills are great.
Yeah, the utility bills are great. Their food bills are great. They probably save so much on just that altogether. But
And also, they have plenty of time to pay off, like, a mortgage. So if you pay, like, off one house,
oh yeah,
like, then you can rent out rooms or whatever.
yeah,
And then, like, it becomes easier to buy more houses once you have one paid off. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Oh, absolutely. And especially if you can just kill the people and then just take their house, right?
Yeah. Also, imagine you could do, like, a con where you're like, I'm your long lost son or whatever, and then they die, and then you take all their things because they put you in the will.
Oh yeah, and you might be able to use vampire power to make them put you in the will.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can probably just do a lot
So
of.
there's all sorts of ways vampires can get money.
Yeah, probably a lot of unethical ways is what I'm imagining. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Bargar, we're talking about vampires. However, the name game. Come on, everybody. I said, now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme out of any By his name, the first letter of the name. I treat it like it wasn't there. And then a B or an F or an M will appear. And then I say Bo at a B, then I say the name, then banana, fan, or info. Then I say the name again with an F very plain, then a Fee, Fi, and a Mo. And then I say the name again with an M this time, and there isn't any name that I can't rhyme. And Bargarwin, and Bargarwin, Bargarwin, banana fan of Bargarwin, Fee, Fi, Bargarwin. Bargarwin, the name game. Thank you for that resub. 40 months. You're practically like in kindergarten? Is that right? No? No. You're not even 4 yet. Preschool? Lindy would know.
Let's see. 40 months is close to 48 months, which is 4 years old. So, like daycare, preschool.
Daycare. Which means that we're in
preschool.
daycare.
Preschool could work too. Yeah, daycare, preschool. I used to be a daycare teacher. We had 16 months to 4 years old, so.
Oh. And
we had a bigger age gap than most did. Most segregated them by more similar ages, but not ours.
And
it was fun.
Tried to kill you.
Only one did.
Only one? Only one?
He got kicked out.
Oh. How old was he? 6 months?
No, we didn't take 6 months.
Well, no. Like, was it the 6-month-old who tried to kill you?
No, he was like 3 or 4.
Okay, because I saw the movie The Omen, you know?
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No.
My megaphone is way over there, so would you read while I get my megaphone? I have to get it.
Yes. 2 more vampires, a couple, joined his side. They look attached. They look very friendly with each other from the silhouette is what I'm seeing.
They might not even know each other, you know? Or they could be conjoined twins. We really don't know.
Oh, they could be conjoined twins. Although it does say a couple.
It's true. A couple of conjoined twins? I don't know.
That would be awkward if a conjoined twins were a couple.
That's true. To be fair, are there any ways to accrue massive amounts of wealth to hoard that aren't just a little bit unethical? Well, Refills, I feel like you are correct. You feel like you are correct. So, when in a characterization arc, we're in a characterization right now, it's a slower, smoother pace. I'm excited because we know we learn so much about Mark when Lindy and I play him. Maybe ways that Xanthus is like, I didn't know that about Mark, but you know. By the way,
or maybe he goes, poor Mark. These people make such assumptions about him.
It's so true. I bet Xanthus is like, golly, Mark is like such a goober. Why? By the way, I would like to thank Embar Garwood for those bits. And whenever somebody donates bits, I get a chance to sing "We're in the Money" as sung by Ginger Rogers in the film Gold Diggers of 1933, which means I sing it in Pig Latin.
It was Calinere who gave bits.
Was it Calinere?
Yeah.
What? Calinere, thank you so much. I have the wrong thing up forward, and so then I can't see the things that I want to see. Let me.
Okay, I got you.
Thank you. Got me. Right there, moving it right there. Now I can see everything. Everything. In Pig Latin. Irway and hey the anime. Irway and hey the anime. Ewe at gale at way of way at way at way to utet gale ang way. Irway and hey the anime. The ice skates are on, say. Old man, the Asian cray, ooyare, oodre, what's down way young ray. Even ebony eat red lands lay, every ed brands lay, oot day. And we see the Anley order will look at the eye are in the IA. We're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. Oh, who does not adore and who is not in awe of Ginger Rogers's like Pig Latin skills?
This is Anne and Andrew Brickford.
Ooh.
This is Mark. He's Mickelson's Tyro.
Oh, we're being introduced.
Mm-hmm. That's nice.
Yeah, that's nice. You know what I was thinking?
But their names are Anne and Andrew, which makes me think that maybe they are conjoined twins.
Maybe they are conjoined twins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we hope. I mean, I just don't know. Worrisome. That's all. Nodded to Mark.
The couple nodded to Mark.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I feel like one can be a little conflicted.
Looks like everyone's here. Let's begin.
By the way, says Xantharus, Belmonte is played by Jonas Scott, who is in Netflix's Beastars as Legoshi.
Oh!
And in some other movie. Oh, that's so cool.
That is really cool.
That is very cool.
Oh. Oh, okay, he's bowing. Okay, he's not sad. Stepping forward, Charlie bowed, took the president's hand, and kissed his ring.
President Belmonte.
Do you think that's his last name or his first name?
It's a good question.
Krellin says, I get the feeling that Anne and Andrew are unimportant background characters. I don't know why. It's so, yeah. I feel like that might be a reach. Maybe they are black inky shadows who are conjoined twins. We don't know.
There again.
Krellin's like, it's his only name.
Anne and Andrew Brickford did the same.
Mark gonna do the same? Is he gonna pick up the clue? Oh,
Is he gonna pick up the clue?
hello.
When Mrs. Violet appeared, she kissed Belmonte's ring.
Again, will he get the clue?
However, unlike the others, he in turn gave a slow kiss to the back of her hand in return. Mark raised an eyebrow. There had to be something there between them. We figured that out when we were at her house earlier, but it's okay. It's okay, Mark. Mark's picking it up.
Slowly, but he's picking it up. Is the ring part of the office or is it a personal by the president? Oh, that's yes. Ooh.
Yeah, they all have one because Mark has one too.
Yeah. Now, of course, when you wear it on your pinky, it's a signet ring that you use to dip back.
Mark felt uncomfortable about the whole ring kissing thing. He thought this was something from the Dark Ages, or maybe even the Mafia, or maybe the Renaissance where he's from.
Yeah, it might actually be from the Dark Ages, I'm just saying.
It could be. So, it's called vampires.
Yeah. Mark.
Oh no. At first he balked at it. He was an American, born in Colorado. He wouldn't kiss someone's ring. From what he knew of Charlie's heritage and even Mrs. Violet's pride, he couldn't believe they would bow to another. Mark.
So here's the thing. They can kill you. I don't know what else to tell you. It's you're gonna be they can kill you. I don't know what vampires do. Maybe they get very upset by
Mark,
things.
you're not American anymore. You're a vampire.
Yeah. Yeah. Vampires are beyond nationality. Also, you're what, 21? Just relax.
Yeah, get over yourself a little, Mark.
Just get over yourself a little bit, Mark, you're 21.
Just being a Colorado-born American doesn't mean... Besides, they were in the USA. Americans would never bow to a king, let alone kiss a ring as a sign of fidelity. Freedom is sacred to them, and they all saw individuals as equals in respect, from janitor to president.
Xantharus.
About that, Mark.
Yeah, he's a grad student, so he was a TA, so I thought he was a grad student, but then he said he was a senior. And so once he said he was a senior, I figured he was an undergraduate, because graduate students aren't called seniors. So I thought he was So, because, at first I thought he was a grad student. As an American, I can attest that is absolutely untrue. Fair. Yes.
Yeah.
If he was really from Colorado, he'd have a weapon of war. Oh, I don't have any. Go ahead.
Thought burned him, but Mark didn't want to insult the society.
Also, chill.
He's a little impulsive.
It's fair. Oh, hey, Nicholson.
Hesitantly, with his low-rise pants, he took a step forwards. Professor Mickelson, who'd watched his internal struggle, grabbed his wrist.
Uh-oh. Okay.
You gonna kiss that ring, Mark? Is what he's gonna say, maybe. The professor shook his head. Instead, he bowed, and Mark followed his action.
No need to do that. We aren't part of his direct family.
Interesting.
Oh, very interesting. So I guess because Charlie and Mrs. Violet were turned by Belmonte, maybe that's why they need to do it.
Yeah. Does that
Because he's a Renaissance man.
He's a Renaissance man. Does that mean that Mark's gonna have to kiss Mickelson's ring?
That is a question.
It's a question I have.
I don't know.
Oh.
What he means is that Steve isn't my title. Whenever my family gathers, this is a tradition we do.
Because he's a Renaissance man.
Huh. What I like is to imagine that as like a veiled threat, unlike you. You know what I mean? Just like, just a nice veiled threat.
We have others in society, and they live all over the country, but these are the ones I trust my life and my blood with. You'll meet vampires from all over Colorado this week. A few from the
Like Ann and Andrew.
Some from other groups.
Well, maybe it's a nice weekend of the country, to quote
Yeah.
Sondheim, you know?
I'm confused. Professor, aren't we related to the Society of the Arts?
No, not by blood. My progenitor was a knight once. Until recently, he was the oldest vampire in the United States. It was he who insisted that the enforcer position be reinstated in the New World.
See, they're still calling it the New World. That's like a sign of age.
Yeah. And just says,
Okay.
Hi, everybody. Back. Thank you for waiting. I got it all fixed back up again. I turned my FPS down from 60 to 30 because I think that with a virtual machine running, that's a little bit too much. But right now, all the numbers look good. So I think we're golden at this moment. I think we're golden. You know what I don't
You
have?
usually don't need 60 frames per second anyways.
Yeah, it's true.
Because film is 29 frames per second, so.
It's true. I think it has
Or
to do-
24.
I think you're playing like Fortnite or whatever.
Which we don't do.
No, not at all. It's not
No.
what we're doing. There's no Fortnite
We
at
do.
all. I mean,
No.
there could be Fortnite, but there isn't. So we were talking about Colorado, right? Also, Iceman has a question. How can a knight get vampired? Or are they considered canned food by the vampires? Iceman, I see you, by the way. I see you. I didn't get a chance to save, but I was able to click through. But I should also, at this point in time, save, also
Yes.
right now. So I'm going to save.
Wise.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm going to do the saving situation at the moment because it seems like a smart idea to save. I just feel like it might be. But we got ourselves. Yeah, we got ourselves there.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
I do want to overwrite my save. Anyway,
Yeah, we do.
we fixed the frame rate situation. So I'm thinking that we are golden. It's my
Okay.
current thought on the matter. Right. The last time we were here, we were discussing the New World knights.
Yes, and traditions.
Traditions.
Of each vampire family.
How related everybody is. Also, it seems like a bunch of these, they all moved here to Colorado. I wonder what that's about. Also, I'm still thinking about the fact that it said that he was a senior.
But you've never asked me to kiss your ring before.
No.
Why? Do you want to kiss it?
It's a saucy remark.
It's a little saucy. Feels like a Lindy comment.
It does feel like something I would say.
Of course not. It'd be weird.
It would be. Also, again...
I like how he says that right in front of all the vampires who just did it.
Yeah.
Out loud.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mark. Decorum, Mark. Decorum.
Decorum. Where's your decorum?
Yes, it'd be awkward for me, too. Every vampire community has their own traditions. My progenitor always asked me to kneel whenever I greeted him. Don't worry, I won't ask the same.
I just still want to point out that I feel like their relationship's a bit inappropriate for Professor
A
and TA.
little bit.
That's all I'm saying.
You were my partner
the
as
short
a
term.
teaching assistant. You'll be my partner again, this time as a trainee enforcer, if you'd like.
I'm glad that he just didn't leave it at, you'll be my partner again.
Also, it doesn't feel to me like he has a choice in becoming an enforcer. How do you feel about that? I mean, he says if you'd like, but
no one else offered him to become a vampire, so I think it was a Professor Mickelson or bust type thing.
Yes, this is my feeling as well.
I mean, he was scouted for his mad judo skills, so
Yeah,
you know.
That's true, he was.
And Mark remembered, his progenitor was one of the rumors that said Professor Mickelson killed.
Well, on the other hand,
Was the one that
Professor Mickelson did say his progenitor asked him to kill him, so
Yep.
it seems like it's probably fine.
The Enforcer is the only position among vampires that is superior to a vampire organization's leader. The only thing that may overrule an Enforcer is the majority of the conclave of House leaders.
So Mark's gonna be a high-ranking vampire.
Yeah.
If he completes his enforcer training and doesn't get ganked before then.
Yes. I will turn up game audio. Thank you, Anageek. I have questions. I have questions about the organizational structure of vampiric society.
I feel like we're about to learn a little bit more about it.
And majority decisions almost never happen with them. Mickelson and his progenitor stayed near us mostly so they wouldn't be alone. Even enforcers know their safety in numbers.
Do you think the enforcer is a pan... Like, we talk about this, the house leaders. Is this within the Society of the Arts or amongst the different groups,
I think amongst the different groups. I think the enforcers are their own groups.
Yeah.
And that maybe certain enforcers gravitate towards certain groups, like to hang out with, because again, safety in numbers, they don't want to be alone. Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe some people give them better discounts.
Yeah, maybe.
How many enforcers are there?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Who? Master and apprentice. I don't know.
Yes. Also, I turned up the game audio. Welcome back.
Worldwide, not enough. Maybe 1 per 12 vampire houses.
See?
You can never increase the number of enforcers and are only allowed 1 apprentice.
Probably so that way the enforcers can't overthrow.
Absolutely. So we have 12 vampire
but still
houses.
enough to be able to handle business.
Right. So here's the question, though. What do you think happens if there are 12 enforcers and an enforcer and their apprentice die? If you can't have more than 1 apprentice, is that going to mean that one of the enforcers...
Well, you can't increase the number, but I imagine that maybe you could bring back up the number.
Yeah.
Though it's probably rare.
Right. Maybe what happens is somebody who was an
Special
apprentice
circumstances.
gets promoted up to enforcer status, and then they both have to take new apprentices, perhaps? Yeah. Yeah.
If both his apprentice and
Oh.
an enforcer dies,
Oh.
and the conclave of house leaders selects a new enforcer.
Oh.
There were no enforcers in North America when I arrived with my progenitor.
Ooh. A vampire house is 12 vampires. Oh.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, well, hold on. So if there's 1 enforcer per 12 vampires, there could be hundreds of enforcers. Right, depending on how many vampire houses there are.
Oh.
Right? Oh, no.
Yeah.
Xanthorus misread. Because if there's, 1 enforcer per 12 houses, not bans. Yeah, so okay. So that means there are like 12 enforcers plus 12 apprentices.
Let's say it took some convincing that we were needed.
Interesting. I can understand why vampires may not want enforcers around if they outrank everybody. Be like, no, we're cool.
Only 2 more have been appointed since us.
Interesting.
So that means there's at least 24 vampire houses. Oh, 2 more full enforcers. So that means there's 36 vampire houses in America at least.
No. A vampire house is not 12 vampires.
Yeah,
Xanthus
that's why I
misread.
said 12 houses. So there's at least 36 vampire houses in North America. Because he says only 2 haven't been appointed since. And each one is allowed to have one apprentice.
So that's what, 3 enforcers, right?
3 enforcers. So
that's
36 houses, at least.
I think
Because
3
3 times 12 is 36.
No, but that was a misread. A misread.
Not vampires, houses. 1 per 12 houses. So there's at least 36 houses.
1 enforcer per 12 houses. Oh. Okay.
See, that's what I said.
Oh. So they're like hundreds of houses.
Yes.
Okay.
There's hundreds of vampires, at least.
Yeah.
And at least 36, if not more, houses in North America.
Yeah. Although it seems to imply that like 3 is a small number. Let's see. Okay. So Mark thinks being an enforcer would be neat. Mark thinks.
Well, 1 per 12 houses. I feel like that is kind of a small number. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because this house alone has how many vampires? At least 3.
Oh, this one has.
The House of Skulls has several.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So those are all houses. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a lot of non-enforcers to enforcers.
Yes, but that also means there's theoretically perhaps lots of enforcers in Europe or everywhere else, right?
Well, still per every 12 houses.
Yeah.
So the ratios are
very
probably
bad.
similar. But America's a bit more Wild West,
Yeah.
So they're probably like, we've been getting along fine without enforcers, and now
Right.
there's at least 3. Because maybe they were like, okay, well, maybe enforcers aren't the worst.
I wonder how many houses there are. I wonder if there are people who are not technically in houses, they're just floating around.
Probably.
Yeah. So the most enforcers are in China and India. So here's the thing. What do you think? Mark thinks being an enforcer would be neat. Mark thinks Damien's right and that the enforcers oppress the vampire kind. Or Mark says
I don't
nothing.
think Mark thinks Damien's right.
No, I don't think he thinks Damien's right either.
I think the first one or the last one.
Yeah. I think so. Bonsai! Come on in my house, come on. Come on in my house, come on. Come on in my house, I'm gonna give you candy. Come on in my house, I'm gonna give you everything. Bonsai! Hey, Bonsai, how are you? What were you doing? I want to suck your blood. Hey, Bonsai, what were you streaming? What was going on? How are you doing? We're trying to figure out what Mark is going to say right now about the situation, about why he wants to be a vampire enforcer. And I agree with you. I don't think he thinks that Damien's right, because I don't think he actually knows enough, and I still think he basically more or less trusts his vampire boss. What were you streaming?
But he also does love judo.
He does.
And he does seem to be like, I'm starting to get the hang of this whole vampire thing.
That's
so I think maybe he might think that being an enforcer would be neat, because Mickelson's an enforcer, and
And it's super high powered.
And it means he doesn't have to like bow or do any
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's an American, right? He's from Colorado.
Yeah, you probably would think being a Colorado-born American.
That's right. So we're gonna say he thinks being an enforcer would be neat, because I feel like, you know. I dipped my toes into Disney Dreamlight, aka Disney Animal Crossing with microtransactions. Oh, how was it? Oh.
A grand portrait of Mrs. Violet hung on the far wall. He studied the painting. It was so lifelike. He could see every brushstroke of her textured velvet clothes.
Ooh. Why is Colorado being depicted like it was Texas? Isn't Colorado the Old West? Like, aren't there Old West spots, towns in Colorado? No? Yes? Isn't it? It is, right, Lindy? Old West?
I've never. Colorado's one of the states I haven't been to. I've been to a fair number of states. I've been to a lot of states. I'm big into road trips, but Colorado has not been on my road trips yet.
Bonza liked it, but is a huge Disney fan. Kron says, if you said Texas instead of Colorado in every one of these interactions, I would be arguing with it. Yep. I don't like microtransaction stuff, but it's not in your face. Ah, okay. Yes, Hawkeye says Colorado is considered part of the Old West. I feel like there's
Most Old West place I've been that felt Old West was parts of South Dakota.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Parts of Texas and parts of New Mexico.
You know, the old Colorado just made me think of hiking. Oh, skiing, right? Aspen. But Colorado. Where was Tombstone? Arizona?
I don't know.
Someone hurt Texas, and all we can do is try to help. I mean, during the Wild West, everywhere west of Mississippi was the Old West. You know, Anageek, I think that's true. It's like when we say, like, you know how people will say that Ohio's the Midwest? And I was like, Ohio is really far east. But, okay. Do you know what I mean? Like, the Midwest is pretty far east.
Yeah, I've been to Arizona, but I was at the Grand Canyon, so it didn't really feel very Old West. It was like, Grand Canyon!
Tombstone is in Arizona, nice place to visit. But it was New Mexico territory at the time. It matters. Oh, that's interesting. And Deadwood is where?
South Dakota.
South Dakota, right? Yeah.
I've been there. It was really cool.
Oh, Arizona's dry.
They have reenactments going on sporadically throughout the street and restaurants and things at the time. It was very exciting.
Oh. I do quite like dry weather versus humid. Also, my great-grandfather was a cowboy, and he had a ranch in South Dakota.
We went to the Deadwood gold mine. It was pretty cool. Yes.
Go ahead.
Wisps of hair escaped her updo, freely edging her face. Whoever painted this painting was not only a master of art, but also cared a great deal for his subject. It's Belmonte.
It's Belmonte. Come on.
It's Belmonte. Mark.
Come on.
Mark.
It has a remarkable resemblance, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's exactly like you. It's amazing. For a moment, I thought it was a photograph.
Mark, you're sounding like a 21st century person right now.
Belmonte will be pleased to hear that.
Uh-huh.
The president painted it?
Obviously, Mark.
What? The Renaissance man painted portraits well?
He's been practicing for a while.
He traded his older paintings with me a few times. Some of his buyers recognized that all his artwork was done by the same artist. But I was the only one who recognized that some of the paintings were recent.
Oh, that's a nice scam. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I'm a Renaissance artist. Here's a Renaissance painting worth gazillions of dollars, except you just painted it last week. Right? Because, I mean, actually, that's an interesting question. Philosophically, if you're from the Renaissance and you make a painting, it's a Renaissance painting. If you're a vampire and you're still alive and you make a new painting now, is it a Renaissance painting?
Because you're a Renaissance artist.
Yeah. It's a question. He is a 21st century person. By the way, be careful if you ask Alexa, how are you today? Oh, it might give you news that
I don't have an Alexa. I don't want her listening to me all the time in my home.
Eventually, he told me his secret.
Onagip would say yes. I would, I know the news, it's been on the Twitter.
So then you two fell in love, and then he turned you into his tyro.
Oh my gosh, is Mark putting together the puzzle pieces?
No. I married another man.
Oh.
These things happen, Mark. I moved on because the company I was working for transferred me to New York. There I met my husband.
And then you got older, and then you came back together.
And then he died because he was a human, and then you got turned into a vampire.
However, we kept our friendship by writing from time to time. My love.
This is why she's old when she got turned. Yeah.
A good man.
Yep.
Eventually, he passed away.
Yep. And that's when
Belmonte visited me to see how I was doing. I was living my life, but not really living. The president pitied me and begged me to join the society as an official vampiress.
Ooh. Ice Bunny says, no, it's not, because we'll use modern paints, and you can, with technical art history, find out how old the pigments are. Yes, but it's a philosophical question.
But what if he makes his paints in the Renaissance style, like how he made them? Because a lot of artists would make their own paints.
It's true.
Back in the day. So what if he still makes his paints the old-fashioned way? It's a newer mixture, but it's using Renaissance recipes.
Yeah, but so Ice Bunny,
and because it's not even a replication of an old recipe; it's the original technique.
That's right. Yeah. Yes, and so I suppose it's a philosophical question. When we say something is a Renaissance painting, do we mean that it's painted by someone of the Renaissance, or do we just
during the
mean
time period
during
of
the
the
time period
Renaissance,
of the Renaissance? Yeah.
or using the Renaissance methods,
Or using the Renaissance methods? Yes.
Because there's all sorts
Yes.
of ways to interpret it. Yeah.
Yes. Right, because
a lot of times, we don't know exactly how they did that. We can
right.
chemically
Mhm.
deduce this is the ratios of things to a certain extent or something, but we don't know how exactly they did that. He would know exactly how they did that, so it's it would not be a reproduction, it would be the actual authentic method.
Ooh, so interesting. And like Bonds is like, are they in this style? Scabmax, making paint the old-fashioned way sounds so much like a euphemism to me. Could be.
Not wrong.
Hawkeye says, might depend on the type of ingredients used. Would need to make sure there is no modern contamination of the products. It's interesting too, because then you wonder, is it about the materials? Right, so like if I
materials, method, person, or time.
Yeah, like if I were a time traveler and I gave modern acrylic paints to Da Vinci and he painted a painting with them, would that be a Renaissance painting?
That is a question.
I mean, I don't.
And what about today? Are you two together?
Mark asking the big questions here.
We're not
Yeah.
dating. We just are really great friends.
Oh, they're friends with benefits. Okay.
And he loves.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Although they are.
You could date though.
Oh.
He's so sad. He just wants to be her boyfriend.
Oh.
Charlie started to fidget.
Oh, awkward.
Oh, this is awkward. Oh no, it's getting awkward.
Is there first blood? I'm really thirsty.
I don't blame you, Charlie. Look, he's looking for an out. He wants to GTFO. He's like, I'm out. Pivot. Conversation. I just thirsty.
Certainly.
I need some fresh air.
Help yourself. My donors wouldn't stay for our company, but they left some of their blood in the fridge.
We're back. Ooh. We're completely back. 100% back. Hey, everybody. Look, we are learning all of the things at the moment. These are adventures in using virtual machines. So, thank you. I appreciate all of your patience with this. I gave the virtual machine more RAM to see how that will go for us. Just to see how it goes. Also, at this moment, I cannot see chat, which will not do at all. Will not do at all.
Not by blood. My progenitor was a knight once.
Skip forward to.
Yeah.
It was he who insisted.
It's just after the painting is gone. It's very awkward. We have Belmonte.
Awkward...
Charlie's like, is there any blood? I'm real thirsty all of a sudden. I need to go.
I gotta get out. Like let me go and be awkward.
There's some drama that I wouldn't want to be a part of.
Let me just go and share how you're heartbroken, President Belmonte, in public, in front of everyone.
Enforcer is the only position among vampires.
You know how it is.
Never happened with.
How many?
Set the pigeons loose.
Let's say it took some.
Do a repost, right? Oh, Mark said thought that being an enforcer would be
being an enforcer would be neat. Yep,
that was our choice. By the way, we're still.
We should save once we get caught up. Yeah,
absolutely. We're still in the chat screen because.
Because we're just skipping through. Yeah.
Charlie wants juicy drama. Iceman is going to do a repost, right? Thank you.
Belmonte will be pleased.
I feel like Belmonte is just like yearning for Mrs. Violet.
Oh, so much yearning. I mean,
no.
Yeah.
Like a lot of yearning.
Sure,
like in a slightly.
And what about today?
We are not
worrisome way. Okay. I think.
We're real close.
We're really
Taylor
close.
Said Belmonte.
Okay.
And then Charlie's gonna be like, "Oh, I need to get out," and then Belmonte's gonna say, "There's some bowls out back if you want something warm, but we got cold, coagulated blood in the fridge." He doesn't talk like that. That's just.
You'll find it in the
I don't know. Don't ask me.
And the game audio reset to quiet. Thank you, Anageek.
That's exactly where we left off, right there.
All right. So while we're here,
save.
We're gonna save. just while we are in this moment. I feel like that was a good idea.
Wise call.
Yeah, absolutely. Where's my cursor? There we go. Let's just say.
Yeah.
Oh, wrong button. Nope. No.
Life with vampires really was different.
No. Wait. Stop. Sorry, I did the auto.
There's a decision, so it's okay.
Yeah, I don't want auto mode. Stop it. No auto mode. No auto mode. Wait.
Okay.
Wait.
You turned it off.
Okay, but we have to go back.
No, we don't.
Really?
Certainly.
Oh, you're right.
It was just that one thing.
Oh, okay, but we have to save.
Yes, we do have to save.
Yeah, we have to save right. Oh, we can't save. We can. Oh, we're good. We're gonna save right now before it's too late. You know
it's too late.
It's too late, baby. Oop. Now it's too late. Right. We didn't overwrite. What's wrong? Okay. Save. Overwrite.
Yes.
I want it right. Wait. So, question. Just because my mind. Oh, good, we did. Just because my mind does crazy things, are blood clots the vampire equivalent to beef jerky? Ooh. I feel like they're more the equivalent of boba.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, because you'd have to because you can dry out blood. So I think that would be more like blood jerky.
Yeah.
Or gummy bears. Yeah. But if it's in a mostly liquid state still, it would be more like boba, I think.
Okay.
Ooh. I think he could do. I don't think he'd say no blood for me, thanks, because he's learning.
Yes,
and this isn't like a feeding scenario, so he'd just stay nice and topped off, not get hungry.
Which is a good idea for him.
Would you please bring back a bottle for me, or let me help you bring some bottles out for the others? Does he realize how awkward he has made things? Does he want an out, or does he want to give Charlie just an out?
Yes. Or the other option is that he might want to just talk to Charlie. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Let me help you bring some bottles out for the others.
Yeah.
I think.
By the way, here are stats. We have no bloodlust, by the way.
Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good on bloodlust. Yeah.
We're full up on Enforcer and got some pretty good humanity. So that's pretty good.
Good friends with the twins. Jody's okay. You don't know Johnny or Ricky, really. So
yeah. Who are they?
I feel like
we have 0 bloodlust, Xanthorus. We're really good. We're hanging out. We're feeling pretty awesome.
Yeah. He does realize he's a new vampire.
Yes.
So I don't know if he'd be like, "Hey, can you bring one back for me?" Because that seems like something you do once you're like good in the group. You know what I'm saying? Like once you're a little more established.
Yeah. Now he does seem to not have a lick of sense when it comes to decorum.
No.
But I think maybe he would say, "Let me help you bring some bottles out for the others," because he might want to talk to Charlie in private about the whole killing your progenitor
and also maybe
thing.
like be like, "Hey, maybe make me look good if I brought some for everybody else," and yeah. So I think I think there's many reasons he'd pick that middle one. Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Let me help you bring some bottles out for the others.
Sure. Is everything ready for tomorrow?
Of course. We have enough drinks to supply a hospital. They'll be defrosted by morning.
Ooh. Blood popsicle. Trooper, by the way, the game screen grew and it's cutting off the bottom of it. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Onigeek.
Bloodsickles.
It did grow. Let me fix that. Easily done. Easily done. Whoop. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Whoop.
There we go. Thank you. Thank you very much. You know how it is. Got a little bit of tech wildness. So it's this game, like a lot of games, like a lot of visual novels, are 32-bit games, and the current Mac OS does not play 32-bit games. And I have upgraded my OS, so hence the virtual machine. Okay. Let's see. Go back.
A wicked gleam crossed Charlie's face. He rubbed his fingers. Belmonte smiled back. Maybe it's like it's a bloodbath that they're preparing for tomorrow. Like
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
But it plays on 64 Windows. Yeah, but it only plays yeah, the Mac version is 32-bit that's on Steam. If it were 64, then I wouldn't have to run through a virtual machine, and we'd be like we were in the beginning. But it currently is. This is done Renpy, right? I'm sure Renpy exports to 64-bit now, right? So there probably got to be a way to create a 64-bit version of it. I'm pretty sure Renpy exports to 64-bit for Mac. You have to check. I'll have to check. That's interesting. I had an idea for a new VTM character. An ice cream truck driving Malkavian that drives around selling blood sickles at 3 a.m. Nice. All the vampires come out. Yeah, I would just, yeah, I'll pass this to the coding team. Yeah, I would check to see whether or not Renpy, and I have to check myself anyway for my own stuff, whether or not Renpy can currently export to 64-bit on a Mac. Because if it can, that would be really good. Because basically the last Mac OS that supported 32-bit was quite some time ago, and I just hadn't upgraded until my computer died. Did you read that?
Yes.
Okay.
Great. I can't wait to play. The Society of the Arts needs to show off its musical genius. It'll be a reunion the Americans won't forget anytime soon. It's about time we introduce a new vampire.
Oh, so is it like a big part, like a music festival to introduce Mark?
That's nice. It seems like the Society of the Arts has good parties, you know? That seems
they
like
know how to throw a shindig.
Yeah, that seems important.
We'll stun every vampire organization, commune, and family. They'll be talking about this gathering for years to come.
It's a big party excuse. Okay, I get it.
Well, so instead of the normal ice cream truck song, it's it's like an old organ playing. Wonderful people to. Oh, hey, Mark.
Well, look at him.
All right, he cleans up nicely. Good for him. Good for him. I do feel like his tie's a little loose. His collar looks like it's unbuttoned.
It is Mark.
Fair. But he is wearing a pocket square, which
he is.
I appreciate.
It's
that.
Blue, matches his eyes. I
feel
like he did pretty good. Yeah, he cleaned up. I think maybe he should just slicked his hair back, but it's Mark, the college student.
It's true. Although, if he's a grad student, he should be working on that.
Yeah, you'd think, wouldn't you?
Because if he's a grad student, rather than look, a lot of his behavior makes sense if he's a senior in college who was just given a TA position because he's really smart. That allows him to be a little bit more ridiculous. But if he's a grad student, that means he's going to conferences already, which means he should be a little bit less. That's all.
You think?
Yes.
There's always those ridiculous people.
It's true.
Please. Mark pulled on his starched collar and fidgeted. He liked the idea of dressing up, but the stiffness of new clothes made him uncomfortable. He tugged at his tie. The room where he waited smelled musty, old, and unused.
Ooh. By the way, hello, Raiders. Come on to my house, come on. Come on to my house, come on. Come on to my house, I'm gonna give you candy. Come on to my house, I'm gonna give you everything. Welcome in, Raiders. How are you doing? What were you streaming? How is it? Tell us all of the things. We are currently playing Twice Reborn, a vampire visual novel, where we are playing as Mark, who is a newly minted vampire about to be introduced to Vampire Society at his Debutante Ball.
It's his debut.
It's his debut, and he has high intelligence, low wisdom. Pretty decent decks. That's where we're at, right? Yes.
Antiques, armors, small bronze statues, and a long, lightly stained mirror decorated the walls. There was only a hint of dust, as if someone remembered to clean every now and then.
Hmm.
Steve Mickelson repeated to Mark instructions on where they were to go and what they were to do. As Mark squirmed, he felt stuck in a whirl of ancient traditions.
Probably, actually. Yeah. Ooh.
Everybody got swanky.
I know.
Downstairs, Belmonte and Mrs. Violet were preparing the night's drinks. They planned to serve blood both warm and chilled. Frozen bags of blood were defrosting in water-filled sinks and bathtubs in every part of the house.
Oh, well, okay. All right.
Like you know how you thaw a chicken? You just throw it
Yeah.
into the sink of water? Yeah.
I'm thawing out some chicken breasts right now, as a matter of fact. I figured in a couple days they'll be unthawed and I can marinate them and then have food.
Mark wondered how many donors Belmonte had. The previous evening, under the watchful eye of her husband, Mrs. Anne Brickford gave Mark waltzing lessons. He'd squish her foot or bump into her with his clumsy steps. Thought you had good decks, Mark.
Yeah, Mark.
Maybe this is a charisma performance check.
Oh, maybe, possibly.
Is dance? It depends on if dancing is charisma or dex based.
Yeah, or maybe he doesn't
He's
have a
not
high
proficient.
dex. He just spent a lot of points on judo.
Oh yeah. Or he's like double proficient.
Yeah.
Patiently, she taught him how to lead and step with confidence. Before he knew it, he was able to dance passably for the gala. That night would be the final test.
All right, so maybe he has a decent dex, right?
He just, baby steps.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Oh, Charlie, look at you.
Yeah.
Charlie had buttoned, not snapped, his suspenders to his matching expensive tuxedo pants. His style was always classy and unique. Mark's rubbed his sweaty hands on his pants. Charlie frowned.
Carla, dancing is either charisma or dex based. You either dance by making it fun for people to watch or by making it awesome for people to watch. Nice. No proficiency, perform dance. Charlie's suit is way better. Charlie's suit is way better, and his hat is excellent, and he matched his hat band.
Yep, Charlie knows how to dress.
How you going to tell your human family about your new status?
I thought you weren't allowed to do that.
I'm not. I
Oh.
don't talk to my dad and his super young girlfriend anymore. My mom's dead. I'm sorry, that was my Mark.
That was very Mark of you. That's very Mark of you.
Thank you.
Yes. I like the texture on Charlie's suit, actually. There's a really nice texture there. It's quite subtle. It's very nice.
Yes.
I think she had to run, but Auntie Aaliyah is my sister. No way! Oh, cool. She plays a lot of chill games. Today was playing Spiritfarer. Oh, will you post your sister's deets in the Discord so I can follow? Because then I won't like it.
I'm not gonna tell them. My father and I haven't gotten along since my mother died. He remarried, but I won't tell them I'm a vampire. He has a new life with her. I've my own life.
Also, I thought you weren't allowed to tell people that you were a vampire. Unless
Yeah,
they were a donor.
maybe immediate family or something. I don't know.
If we can't choose who we're naturally related to.
That's true. Whoever the artist is, I really like how they do faces when they're turned downward. I like the way that face is sort of drawn. I think it's really nice.
Yeah. Taking out an old chained pocket watch, Charlie looked at the time.
I have to go. My friends are waiting. You'll love them. They're amazing musicians.
I also like the shading that this artist has done on the faces, the way they do the shadows, actually on the clothing as well.
Can't wait to hear them.
I like this
Please
artist
be a jazz band.
quite a lot, actually. I mean,
Charlie's friends stayed in a separate wing. During the entire stay, they'd cloistered themselves with Charlie to compose new music. Until early each morning, Mark heard stringed instruments and loud arguing from the ballroom.
Oh, that's the artist. Ooh, nice. I'll have to make sure I can.
Ooh. Yep.
Will you?
I don't have a problem commissioning art. I'm not at all hooked on art commissions. Yes. Charlie said if their latest work was a success, that they would travel on the road together next year.
Oh.
It's time. What's wrong, Tyro?
I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm nervous. I mean, how many vampires are downstairs? I'm gonna be introduced to everybody at the same time. People have nightmares about this stuff.
It's okay, Mark.
You're gonna live. Be fine. Mickelson took a deep breath and rested his hand on Mark's shoulder.
Aw.
There will be many vampires. Not all of them. Don't let that spoil your mood. Your introduction happens only once in eternity.
Ooh, I wonder if
No pressure.
he'll get like a crown or a scepter or like what kind of like, and he's got to have to dance like a foxtrot or whatever. Waltz.
A waltz. Foxtrot would have been easier to learn, honestly. But no, they wanted to teach him waltz. Anyways, Mickelson smiled. Surprisingly, those few words encouraged the tyro, but his next words didn't.
Oh, Mickelson. Mickelson, they seem to have a lot in common, Mark and Mickelson.
Be careful with what you say to others. Some of those below balk at the existence of enforcers and would use any information to assassinate us both.
I thought that was not allowed. I thought you weren't
Well,
allowed
you did
to
say
do that.
assassinate, not kill, which implies that maybe you don't know who did it.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Awkward.
They should be like, someone killed them. Who did it? Who knows?
Who knows? Was it me? I don't know. Ooh. We should save.
We should save.
Save right now.
I'm waiting for the conjoined twins, Anne and Andrew.
Yeah, I want to know where the conjoined twins are. Like, how are they doing? They're hanging out, you know? They're good work for them.
Yeah.
Like, maybe they're not conjoined twins, but I like the idea.
Their names are Anne and Andrew. That's such, like, twin naming conventions.
Absolutely.
It's not like Martha and Andrew or Anne and Duncan or something.
Right?
I don't know.
Anne
and Andrew. Anne, Andrew.
And
like, it's the same.
you could just portmanteau them.
Yeah.
By the way, Anna Geek notes that maybe it's character assassination, right? That could happen.
Oh, yeah.
Mickelson pushed open a tall, heavy wooden door and led the way into a grand room that had a wooden staircase which circled down into a spacious ballroom below. There was a small stage on one end and large crystal chandeliers overhead. Narrow but high windows lined the two longest walls of the rectangular room. A congregation of at least a few hundred dressed in the finest gowns and suits gathered. Ooh, a few hundred. That's a lot.
That's what I said. It's big shindig, big to-do.
Yeah. A few dozen danced, moving in a wheel-like pattern on the floor beneath an old formal dance, probably from the Renaissance. Indeed. Could be Victorian, but...
Oh, man. Imagine being like having a dance instructor that was a vampire.
Ooh.
You could learn so many
Ooh.
dances.
Ooh. Nice. I would
That
love
would
that.
be so great.
Scabby Neck says, I like any twin names that make it obvious twins weren't expected. Like, Victoria and Jim Bob? Like, you know? They stood and shifted their stances in neat rows or positioned themselves in circles on the dance floor. Their steps were perfectly coordinated to Charlie and his friends' music. Mark knew, by their slower heartbeats and pale faces, that every man and woman below was a vampire. Their sharp gazes took in all around them. It was a gathering of hunters. Nicholson whispered. So there are Edward and Edwina, Jack and Jill.
Yeah.
Nice. Frick and Frack. So it seems as if there are a lot of vampires.
Mark, once I get to the end of the staircase, you may descend.
Oh, do you think that Mickelson will, when he gets down to the bottom of the staircase, will turn up and then sing, "Here he comes"?
I don't think he'll
Mr.
sing it.
Oh,
He doesn't seem like the singing type. If it was Charlie, maybe.
probably not. Someone in a wide necktie secured with a small square pin tapped his cane with gusto before booming an announcement.
Oh, they have an announcer.
They do.
Nice.
Maybe like the Professor Elemental song, Auto and Victoria, maybe. Hans and Franz.
Hans and Franz, yep.
Steve Mickelson, the only blood inheritor of the late Sir Andre Garnier, and his tyro, Mark Delaware.
Here to come to ruin our nice CG.
Oh, and Charlie's on the piano. Look at
Nice.
him. Tickling those ivories.
Right, so nice. Approving murmurs and harsh whispers sounded below us. They collided in a rush of dissonant voices.
Oh, he's handsome.
So young to be changed.
Yeah, this slide is very good.
You weren't much older.
True.
I think it's good that we have some fresh blood in our community.
A new one, is he? Like we need another damn enforcer.
Well, he's an apprentice.
Do you think he's a killer, like his progenitor?
I hopefully.
That is what
He is.
what gossipy vampire would say.
Yeah, but also that's sort of his job, right? Whoops, us. Originally, this was written in the first person. Oh.
Curse the Society of the Arts. Those picky bastards must have found someone very talented.
It's probably true, actually. Or
Perhaps I start buying more of their artwork soon.
interesting. That sounds like money goes back and forth between vampires as a form of bribing.
But he's with the Enforcer.
Yes.
Then he could be more dangerous than he seems. An enforcer's apprentice is no one to trifle with.
He'll be like, I know judo.
I don't know if he is as more dangerous than he seems, but
What
keep thinking
does
that.
mean?
Does he even hunt his own blood? I mean, he's just, does he even hunt his own blood? Oh. One of the vampires clapped. Suddenly all applauded. Some even whistled as Professor Mickelson first descended. Leaning with one arm against the railing at the bottom of the staircase, he motioned towards Mars. Do you think this is all the vampires in the United States? I doubt it, right?
No, I think probably just in the area. Like
Yeah.
the state of Colorado and maybe like some Oklahoma,
Yeah.
Texas.
And also the ones who would actually go to this party, because I imagine this House of Skulls are just not coming to this party.
No, I would imagine not. Maybe this might be more of like Society of the Arts members, like from different parts of the country as well.
Yeah, or maybe some aligned
Because
houses?
Mrs. Violet did say she was in New York for a while.
Well, that's true.
So,
Yeah, Hawkeye's like, I bet it's a regional meeting. And maybe some, like, those hippie vampires might be there as well. Like, maybe a couple of...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, did I miss that one?
You did miss that one.
Yes. Nervously, Mark took his first step. After the second and third step, he felt like he could walk down to the crowd below, and his nervousness left him. He was proud to be introduced to the larger vampire community. Even though their original feelings may have been different, the other vampires made it an effort to give Mark a warm welcome. Their applause grew louder as he reached the bottom, stopped, and then formally bowed. Suddenly, the applause cut off. The greater vampire community returned to the bow. The Enforcer went beside Mark and hugged him. The other vampires gave Mark wide-fanged grins as he was shuffled from one group to the next, shaking hands and vaguely answering questions. It's the Tri-State Vampire Alliance. Enforcer Mickelson had warned him to be very stingy with any information about himself. Yeah, because they don't know how not...
You're a college student who was in love with Jody.
Yeah. The gathered vampires there were from different regions with their own different accents and cultures, but all of them were from either the United States or Canada.
No Mexico.
Oh, interesting. Sort of like the American Musicological Society does not do Mexico well enough. Even the poorest of them dressed up for the midnight gala. Belmonte was famous as a host. After him, the annual vampire reunion would be held in a New York City penthouse by a different organization. It would take about 50 years before it would be Belmonte's turn to host again. Okay, so this is interesting. Okay.
Oh, so they're announcing it at the annual vampire reunion,
Right.
which is apparently every 50 years.
No, it's every year. So it's an annual, but it would 50
that's
years
true, that's true. Yep,
before
yep.
it would go back to Belmonte, which means there were at least 50 vampire organizations.
Yeah, that's true, that's true.
Right? But there are presumably more because not all the vampire organizations might host. Like if you're like super poor and grungy, I bet you're not.
Or like the House of Skulls.
Yeah, at least, yeah. God,
that you are an excellent scholar like your progenitor.
Which also means that this is why Belmonte wanted to make such a nice impression, because he wants people to be talking about his party till it's his turn to host again.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. He's going to have the best housing, right? The best party.
Yeah.
You are a linguist, then? Very helpful for investigations, I'm sure.
I wonder who... See, at this point, if it were me and not Mark, I'd be like, okay, who has told whom what? You know what I mean?
Well, they did say he was going to be introduced as a linguist and historical expert.
Okay, let's hope they didn't say anything more.
I don't think the society would. Now, whether Mark does is another thing.
About art history.
And New Mexican vampires are still considered part of Mexico because they can't come to an agreement on the referendum to update their status. You know how it is with vampires. I don't know. I feel like you should say something non-committal, Mark.
Well, knowledgeable enough. Move on.
So, do you prefer weapons or hand-to-hand combat?
Non-committal.
Like,
Just non-committal.
Does it really matter?
For the vampires who wanted their blood hot, the defrosted blood was poured into brandy glasses suspended over candle flame. Otherwise, the still chilled blood was served in little flutes. Mark asked why that was.
Those who want to drink
Yeah, why not just microwave it?
Aren't used to drinking blood that's aged. The heat makes it seem more familiar, and the wide brandy glasses allow the vampires to enjoy the blood scent.
It was made in the USA, though vampire looks like a sports coach. It's probably because New Mexico belongs to the werewolves and there are no vampires. It's fair. Hey, Slimitha!
Chilled blood is served in narrow glasses to limit the smell, because some vampires dislike drinking blood that is not from their usual donor. Once you find a donor you like to drink from, it's hard to enjoy drinking another's blood.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
It's like finding your favorite dessert. Some of us are picky like that.
Coded overseas, character art overseas. Oh, interesting. Does O plus or O positive or AB negative have a better bouquet? What year is this?
Could be personal preference.
I think you're picky like that with Laura. Are you?
Why did you say it like that, Mark?
Because, he's trying to be funny.
Don't.
Coy, I don't know.
Mickelson twitches
Mark,
eyebrow.
what did I
Mark's
say
comment.
about personal information at this party?
Yep.
Vampires have excellent hearing.
Yeah, don't say who people's favorite, what's...
Donors are.
You whisper.
Noticed her, did you? I respect her. Anyways, what did I tell you about minding your words here, Tyro? Don't say anything that could be used against us. Everything here from a pin drop to a mouse can be heard by everyone.
Yeah. Mark. By the way,
Something's gonna happen to Laura. I know it.
Oh, I'm gonna just save. Oop, wrong button. Wrong button. Sorry. I'm gonna just save.
Wise. Yes,
I'm gonna save. That's right.
Yes, save game.
Nice button there. I appreciate that. That's a good button to have. Yep. It's just overwrite our save. Right? Let's do that. We're gonna overwrite our save. Overwriting our save is a good thing. Positive. Okay. I like a little chill music.
I do not have rodents infesting my home.
Belmonte, you look nice without your floppy hat on.
Yes, you look more modern.
Yes, please read.
No, it's
you sure? All right.
We're still, I read literally up until 15 minutes ago, so this bellroom scene's you.
Okay. A few of the vampire guests nearby tittered. Maybe they could overhear their conversation. That's what Mickelson just told you.
Yeah.
Mark.
Of course. Tyro, to your question about blood, the only thing I'm picky about is that I prefer my donors young. No older than 50. But when you're thirsty, blood is blood.
I wonder what young is for a vampire. who's a couple hundred years old, you know? Copying Professor Mickelson, Mark tried to properly enjoy the drinks. Swirling the warm blood in his brandy glass, Mark breathed in its scent before drinking large sips. Yeah. Everyone's like, Toreadors.
Thank you, Belmonte. Not just for letting me learn about being a tyro with the society in this introduction party. I know that you kept an eye out for me when I was at the House of Skulls place.
Should you be saying these things out loud?
No.
Did
well,
we
maybe not everything but that last sentence is fine.
Yeah, last
Mark.
sentence, don't say that one.
Mark.
Mark.
That's no problem. You're Nicholson's tyro. I would have hated to see you get in trouble. Tonight, I enjoy having this company. Charlie tells me it's healthy to have company occasionally. He loves dragging me away from my paintings.
And your thoughts about Mrs. Violet?
Xanthos
is just cracking up here. I'm glad that I'm glad we're cracking you up.
Was your introduction like this?
I'm just saying.
No.
Mark has to work on these things. Uh-oh.
Apparently the answer is no.
Again. You know, I really feel like Mark needs to learn tact as well as...
Small talk?
Small talk.
I'd never been introduced to any vampire society until both Sir Garnier and I came to the States.
Interesting.
We were both introduced to the Americans at the same time. I think the old knight found it hard to adjust to America.
Nicholson, where were you from? I can't ask him. He won't tell me.
Probably Europe.
Here, everyone gathered at a house in Washington State.
Especially if this guy was a
admit,
knight.
I met some interesting women during that trip. It was fun.
Is Washington State like a wild...
Woo! Wild vampire women! Woo!
Mark is not the only soggy cookie.
Women? Now you have to tell me.
Look, I just feel like you should not be having
Not
these kinds
at this
of...
party where
No.
everyone can hear you, Mark. This is a later conversation.
Right. Also, how many times do we have to tell you, Mark? Not at this party. Also, this is your professor. Don't be too chummy.
You get a little too comfy.
True gentlemen
Yeah.
don't speak about such things. Now, that reunion was impressive. Actually, that meeting wasn't a gala like this, more like a vampire retreat.
Oh.
Oh, I see. Now I know why there were wild women.
Yeah, now he's his mentor. You should still not be asking your mentor about his love life. I'm just saying.
Mentor.
You know, and has Mark graduated yet? I hope so. Anyway, I'm just saying that, like, you know, boundaries.
You're lucky this year was Belmont's turn to host. My year, it was someone else's time, so I was introduced at their campgrounds.
Oh?
Everyone gets introduced at the annual reunion when they first
Does that mean
become a
Burning Man is just a vampire reunion?
Burning Man might be a vampire reunion. No longer Professor, now Mickelson is his daddy. So worried about all this.
Oh.
Yeah. Also, like, I feel like their HR thing. You know what I mean? That would come in. So maybe you do have some grungy Burning Man meetings. Maybe there are only 50 organizations in the U.S. at the
It's
moment.
our North American way of saying that we are all connected, I suppose.
Which means that maybe the House of
Right.
Skulls is here.
I don't know.
You know.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Unless they just don't go to these annual events.
Yeah. But you get free food. But
I don't think they're worried about that. I think they get free food regardless.
It's a good way to know who's who. Besides, you need to do this before we hibernate. Let them get to know who you are. You remember when you first joined. The society hibernates once a century so we don't stand out.
Oh.
right. Absolutely. Maybe the girl from the House of Skulls. Oh yeah, she might be there. I could see her on a geek showing up. There has to be one person here from the House of Skulls so they can listen in to find what everybody's saying.
But don't worry.
That's fair.
We still won't do that for a while yet.
I wonder how long they hibernate. It makes sense.
Probably a good while. Like a generation or something.
Yeah. Hello. Mrs. Violet and an Indian vampire spoke nearby.
So, Anaya, how is business?
Oh, I love her outfit.
Gorgeous.
can't complain. I'm enjoying this whole organic movement. My family has decided to turn part of our lands into an orchard.
Ooh.
The blossoms in spring are beautiful. You must visit sometime and relax your mind.
It's Lakshmi, it is. And she is, like, she doesn't look dead.
No.
When do I ever get the chance? Half of my time is keeping up with our books, but I can't complain. I love what I do.
I hope you get a vacation, Violet. That would be nice.
She might if she actually dated the leader.
New recruit finishes his first hibernation.
Oh, interesting.
That does sound nice.
You know, I wonder what time scale they think on. You know?
That's a good question.
The same question you think about elves. Mark joined the vampires on the dance floor. Hoping he'd memorize the steps Mrs. Anne gave him, he asked a brunette vampire with a gorgeous smile to dance. There are not that many steps in a waltz, but...
3.
3.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I guess 6. In sets of 3. Because you don't do the same step, same 3 steps over and over
Let's
again.
bring a Viennese. Right?
I doubt they taught him Viennese waltz to start with.
That's probably true. That's probably true. She looked about 18, but the way she spoke revealed that she was much older, at least 200 years older. Her lilac chiffon dress shimmered and almost touched the floor as they waltzed. Is this a vampire job fair? Maybe. As the two of them were dancing, Mark heard some of the older-looking vampires talking. Because remember, everyone can hear everyone here, Mark.
Just
yep.
In another century, and he'll be a pro. And just look at Mrs. Brickford. She's a perfect dancer. If she wasn't married, I'd ask for her hand a long time ago.
Marriage, if you're undead, must be interesting.
Right?
Right? Shouldn't her dress be touching the floor if she's 200? I hope that she's trying not to wear a 200-year-old dress. It doesn't look like she's wearing a 200-year-old dress from that silhouette, is all I'm saying. That is not a...
No, just her speech.
Yeah. Mark chuckled to himself. Andrew Brickford wouldn't be too happy if he heard those words, which he probably can, because apparently everyone hears everything.
Yep.
Mark's partner gave him a questioning look, so he complimented her dress. She liked that, and didn't ask any more questions. As Mark danced with the brunette, he watched the other guests, and then noticed the Brickford couple. They're probably murdered. Ooh.
Oh.
They took long...
Is this the conjoined twins?
Yes. They're doing a tango, I think.
Makes sense.
Right.
That looks like a tango.
That looks like a tango. That looks like a tango.
Especially if they're taking long steps.
Yes.
Yeah. Definitely a tango.
They took long, complex steps and swirled around the floor.
Doesn't look Argentine, though.
It does not. It doesn't. As they passed other waltzing couples.
This is what happens when you get people who know how to dance. Watching dance scenes in movies and media.
It's true. Violet.
Most of the time I'm like, what are they doing? It's choreographed. That's not... You don't perform choreographed dances at a ball. That's
some people
okay.
do, and people look at those people. Do you know what I mean?
And you go, and they go, oh.
Violet and Anya is one of my Bechdel test moments. Nice. Is it not rude to tango through a waltz? It is. Twirling around gracefully, Mrs. Anne smiled, and although everyone's eyes were on them, the Brickfords only looked at each other. They've practiced this, though. You know. They were so distracted they didn't see 3 other vampire guests whom arrived late. Oh, House of Skulls.
This is the House of Skulls.
House of Skulls. That's what it is. House of Skulls. The whispers started and grew louder. A general murmur of discontent.
It's House of Skulls. House of Skulls. Yeah.
Rippled through the crowd.
Let's hope we don't have to murder anyone at this ball. So we don't have to do any enforcing.
I hope not. Just wait until they go into a paso doble. Mm-hmm. Ooh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. In vampire society, there was no such thing as fashionably late. Only punctuality. The tardy group was dressed in black and red.
Oh, they've got new outfits if they're not purple and black.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Each wearing a tiny skull around their necks, because... It's a House of Skulls. Also, why are vampires never late?
Because they're always on time. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
But you'd think if you've lived for 1,000 years, time is a little bit... Especially if you grew up... Look, if you grew up before digital clocks or even really ubiquity of clocks, I bet you're much looser when it comes to
Yes and no. I imagine that like you're loose in your daily life, but if you have an appointment, you know what I'm saying?
if you're the hot-blooded
Because
one.
this event doesn't happen but once a year. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
You don't want to be looked poorly upon you for showing up late.
If you're the one of the hot, let's see, and are not most people who went dancing schools the kinds that only do the Schreibenwischer type of disco fox? No. Depends on the kind of dancing school. All right, I'm gonna see him. I know it. Hey, oh, they look great.
Oh, I like her outfit.
Yeah.
I've liked all her outfits. His suit, he finally looks nice.
He looks great.
Mm-hmm.
The House of Skulls were noticed and received glares as they walked through the crush. One stocky vampire with mahogany thick pressed curls opened a feather-lined fan and hid his mouth as he spoke loud enough for every vampire in the room to hear.
You can hear a pin drop any speaking.
Not only do they appear unacceptably late, but their attire is so... What is the word I'm trying to find?
Goth?
Goth? Yeah.
Somber.
Oh, no, the red gives it much more of a bit of a,
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Vampire goth.
Yeah,
They're modern. They're very modern.
Yeah.
I need to say that.
Also, just turned like last week. Also, when were they introduced? Is my next question. I've never seen a
That is
stocky
a question.
vampire. Maybe the
Were
vampires
they
did-
formally introduced?
Maybe. That's a good question.
Well, there was still video rental stores when he was turned.
That's true.
So when was Blockbuster? When did Blockbuster go out of business and what year is it now? So that's the question.
Look, I think their outfits are totally fine.
Ridiculous.
I think their outfits are
Looks
fine,
like
too.
a tacky Halloween movie wardrobe.
People are...
They obviously don't respect the goth movement.
Yeah, they gotta respect the goth, you know what I mean?
Well, maybe because a lot of them were around during, like, when goths
They are
were around.
undressed. It's so disrespectful.
I bet they're all like, you're not real goths. I knew the Visigoths. You're not a real goth.
Mm-hmm.
The Ostrogoths, I knew them. You're neither one a Visigoth nor an Ostrogoth. What are you? Some of the vampires around them chuckled. I think their outfits are totally fine, actually. That looks like a nice brocade. I feel like it's totally fine. Damien glowered. His face turned scarlet. Walking towards her, he slid his hands into her pocket.
Ma'am, do you
Is that a
have
steak in your pocket? Are you happy to see me? Oh!
Oh! One of the gentleman vampires next to her answered in her stead.
Where is your progenitor? I miss Ricky's company.
He's dead.
It has been almost a decade since I've seen him at any annual gathering. None of us skip this many events. Is he shunning us?
Interesting.
He's dead. Other doc says, I hate to say I've had that goth conversation with people before. Couldn't help myself. 2010 to 2014 was the period of Blockbuster's demise. Oh.
But where? So it has been about 10 years.
Yeah, about 10 years.
Since Ricky's been seen. Where is Ricky? That is a good question.
Wasn't he just murdered by Professor Mickelson?
No, that was a completely different guy. That was a random House of Skulls guy. Ricky's the 1950s.
Oh, yeah.
Dude who turned him.
Yeah.
It isn't like him to miss out on free blood. When I last saw him, we planned to go collect classic car parts to rebuild a muscle car together, but I haven't heard from him in years. Did you kill him?
Maybe you don't ask that again,
I haven't seen him alive recently. Who knows where he's at?
That was an evasive answer.
That's a very odd way of putting it.
That's what I think. Just noting.
But there is a Ricky meter, so I'd like to think that maybe he's alive somewhere.
Yeah, maybe. Visigoths are the Hot Topic sunglass cart at the mall, isn't it? I wonder if he's...
You're very fortunate to have become one of us, Damien. Ricky gave you a gift with your transformation. I hope you never forget that. Hopefully we'll see him next year.
You're not my dad. That's all I'm saying.
I think that's the point. Where's your father?
A dark smile crossed Damien's face before he sidestepped the vampire and entered the crowd.
Maybe that can be arranged.
that sounds like he killed his progenitor.
Mm-hmm.
Although, Damien was also the person who said that you're not allowed to kill other vampires and made a whole big deal about. Hello, everyone. We're back. My computer has crashed again. Last week it didn't crash.
It didn't.
It didn't. So I've got to figure out what. But it was also more laggy last time. So
yeah,
got to figure out what that's all about. Anyhow, hey everybody. It is past our time though. We are past time. So we are gonna call it for today. And I want to say thank you to everyone who has stuck around through 3 crashes, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. About 3 crashes. Yep. Thank you for that. It has been madness. And I am going to be working on figuring out what's going on between this time and last time. What can be done to make this a bit more stable? If I could remember all of my choices. I can't remember all my choices, so I don't think I can put it on the PC. But I'm going to be experimenting.
I could probably remember all the choices.
You think so?
I think so.
Well, let's talk.
Okay.
Talk. Yeah. So there is Crit Roll hosting tonight. I'll be hosting Critical Role in a half hour-ish. And Lindy, first off, everybody, I want to thank you very much. I also want to thank Xanthorus for being here with us. And also, this is our virtual machine is a new experiment. We're going to see what we can do to make this better and make it work. So thank you. And I will be downloading all of these files and stitching together into one big one, and I will put that up on YouTube. So that will be available for you. Let's see. Lindy, who are you? Where can we find you? Tell me things.
All right, I will tell you things. But I'm also Lindy, Laugh Love Lindy. You can find me online as such. If I've pretty much claimed it on most platforms, that you can usually find me here on Twitch, on Twitter, sometimes on Instagram. I'm years behind posting on Instagram, but maybe one day I'll post pictures again on it at some point. I'm not great at social. Hi, I'm Lindy, and I'm not great at social media. But I do love playing tabletop RPGs, which you can find me playing here tomorrow night on Trooper's channel, where I will kill his character, or die trying. So there's that, and then on Sunday you can find me on Praxagora Thesmophoria's channel for The Witcher, the new season of Witcher Roads Home, which is very exciting. And then on Monday you can find me on my channel for Mondays in Exandria, the new batch, where I play Glass Cannon, the war-forged war wizard, who doesn't quite know the meaning of non-lethal damage yet. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Unexpectedly sad character. I love pulling on my fellow players' heartstrings. MIG. And then on Tuesday, we have a new little campaign starting. It's a Stargate campaign, GM'd by Nuggetosaurus, and it's going to be very exciting. We are very excited about Stargate. It's going to be 2 episodes to start with. It's like a little warm-up, get into it, and then after we take a little break at the end of the month, beginning of next month, we will be back, I believe, with a whole 12, 13 episode campaign. So that should be super fun. Unless we hate it, then we'll play something different. But it's definitely the next 2 weeks are going to be Stargate, and I'm very excited about it. Binge watching a lot of Stargate to educate myself. And then on Wednesday, you can find us for our penultimate episode of our Good Society game Upon the Hexhamshire Moors, which Trooper facilitates, and will be very, very fun.
And while you were talking, I realized that you were not being closed caption, but also now I think I am not closed caption. I was trying to make it so we could both. Oh, nope, I'm being closed captioned. We're good. Sorry. We're all closed captioned now. I'm Trooper SJP, and I want to thank everybody who's been hanging out with us through our experimentations. Let me see. You can find me at Trooper SJP on YouTube, where we get versions of these games up there. The last 2 RPGs will be coming soon. You can find me at Academic Foxhole on Twitter and also on Patreon. The Patreon goes to support the cast for the RPGs that happen every Friday, or most Fridays. And let's see, when can you find me next? Next Friday, that is tomorrow, at 7 p.m. You can find me murdering Lindy. We'll be playing the RPG Showdown, where two people come together to meet each other, say hi, and then murder each other. And the game, one person does damage, the other person creates history. So that's really interesting. I'm very excited about that. And then you can find me for just RPGs. Saturday you can find me at noon here, Eastern, playing The Outer Worlds. Sunday at 8 p.m., Witcher Roads Home with Lindy. And then Monday at 8:30 p.m. Over at Wandering DM, I'll be playing Vampire, Montreal by Night, and then Wednesday, of course, the penultimate episode of Upon the Hexamshire Moors, where we've had quite the bit of drama, and we're only halfway through that ball. So, yeah. I want to thank Xanthras, who put together this game, and who we make laugh by all of our strange choices that we make as Mark Delaware. And, next week we'll be playing more of this. And I want to thank you. I am not going to raid because I'll be back here hosting Critical Role in about a half hour. So everybody, go get some food, boba jerky, blood, whatever you got.
Whatever you got.
Whatever you got. And we will see you. We'll catch you on the flip side, everybody. Thank you so much, and take care of yourselves. Bye.